Hello, everybody. My name is Marjorie McIntyre. I work with a department called the Clinical Research Support Team, and today I'm going to be showing you the new CTRC Study Startup dashboard. When working through Study Startup for studies that are being implemented at the CTRC or the Clinical Translational Research Center, MD orders is a vital process to instruct all of the cores on a given study of study-specific information that is pertinent to them. This new CTRC Startup dashboard functions as a multidisciplinary tool for the various cores used in CTRC studies. When you receive your welcome letter after submitting the protocol assessment form through the HSR, or the Human Subjects Research Portal, you will get access to this dashboard. And here on the main page, you'll see several things. You'll see all the protocols that you have access to here. If you do not see any of your protocols that you would anticipate, you should click this button down below, and this will help you log in to your OneDrive such that you do have the studies available to you. If you do not see your protocols assigned, you'll just be asked to reach out to a team member or to submit a ticket to the informatics core through this help button up at the top. Additionally, on the main page, you'll see that you have a Manage Users tab, as well as this help button. But let's go ahead and get on into the main page to access your dashboard. It's also worth noting that this tab here will only be accessible by administrators and that study teams will not be able to see this. So just go ahead and ignore this for now. Today, we're going to be working on protocol 24-0001. Also going to be joined by our nurse liaison, Kyla Wolf, for this presentation today. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Kyla Wolf. I am the charge nurse for the inpatient and outpatient CTRC. Me and a small group from the process improvement team and our informatics IT team have been working on this project for a couple of years. So we're really excited to share it with you and show you how to use it.
Brilliant. So let's get on into it. When you enter your dashboard for the given study, you should come straight into what's called Global View. Under Global View, you will see all the status updates, and they'll correspond with each core review and approval. The study will become open for scheduling when all of these relevant cores show core startup complete, and then the scheduler status will also display ready, open, and scheduler. These drop-down status updates include feasibility review and status updates, but when you first receive access to a new study, all of these statuses should reflect that the relevant cores have reviewed and approved feasibility. Global View is also a really good location to confirm what CTRC cores were requested in the protocol assessment form. So as you can see for this study, this is going to be investigator initiated. Looks like per the protocol assessment form, there was requests for nursing, core lab services, nutrition, and APP. Now, let's take a look under the orders stethoscope. This is where you will go if you want to submit any of your MD orders. It'll also display the status update for each core related to the MD order specifically. So they might include status updates such as the study team needing to update MD orders document, providing lab manuals, or update lab needs, among some other statuses. Studies that do not require MD orders do not need to view this orders tabs, as it won't be relevant to study startup for them. Let's take a look at this information and examples tab, because that's going to be super helpful when you're writing your MD orders for the first time. We've included here the CTRC Study Startup Dashboard User Manual. This will always be accessible within the Startup Dashboard. It'll also be accessible through the CCTSI website. We've also included some really helpful tips here for just generally writing orders, some CTRC orders examples, as well as the UCH medications order policy. This is going to provide some helpful information. This was requested to be added by the pharmacy team for writing up any medication order specifics. You definitely should follow this if you're using any investigational drugs for your studies. Let's go back to the main page because this is where you're going to be making any of your MD orders edits. If you go into this button here for build and review orders, this is where you will go to view the orders template when you're building a new set of orders. Going back out to the main menu, it also should be noted that there's this really nice view history tab. You'll be able to view any of the comments and status updates as you go through the MD orders process. Now, going back into this build and review orders tab, you'll be able to open up your order here. And this is going to show the MD orders template. If you've worked through MD orders before, this should be a pretty familiar process for you. And this includes just the template at large and then the comments that provide some additional clarification from the nursing side. It should be noted that the orders template will be updated as of 12/1/24 to include some not applicable statuses for the various cores, some location updates, and some additional laboratory specifications. Now, let's pretend as though I am making edits to my MD orders. This is going to be very similar to Google Docs if you've used that before, in that it's constantly updating and constantly saving the edits that you're making to it. So let's go ahead and change my visit to reflect that I'm making some edits. Now let's pretend as though I've gone through, I've made all my relevant edits. This is my visit one. Let's act as though I've made all the relevant edits to this document. I've updated everything necessary for the cores. Now what I'm going to do after I've finished this document is I'm going to go into review. And under this delete tab, under this down caret, you can delete all comments in the document. Once you've made all of the relevant edits to your MD orders, you will delete all of these comments. This will make it really easy for nursing to be able to provide any additional feedback to your MD orders. Now, once this is saved, you can tell because this cloud says that it's last saved just now. So if you're ever curious, you can always check it up there. But now that I've confirmed that all of my edits have been saved, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of my orders. In order to see that this has been updated, I can refresh. And I can see that, yes, the visit name has updated and that the relevant edits have come through as well. Now, say that I want to make an additional order. I will just go ahead and add a new visit up here, and this will automatically let me change the visit name. I'll create here. If you go under this new visit, you will also note that it's going to be the exact same as your original template, including all of those additional comments. Now, if you need to delete any of your visits or any of your orders at any given time, you can also use the delete function. It'll ask you if you're sure, and you can go ahead and delete that order if it's not necessary for you anymore. Now, if you have visits that are very similar with maybe some minor changes, you've already created all of your edits in this original document, you don't want to go back and create all those new edits in another document, you can also use this button here that says copy order, and it will make an exact copy of your original visit that you selected to copy. You will be able to go into this document, and it is recommended that you make a change to the name as soon as you have copied that so that there's no confusion on the versioning. So I'm going to go in and update this to say visit 2. And I'll just preliminarily update that to visit 2 as well. I can see that that document's saved, so now I feel safe to close out of that. Now I'll refresh up here, and I see that that's all updated. It is also worth noting that MD orders should only include information that is necessary for interventions by the CTRC cores. So, for example, if your visit has an infusion, the nursings would need to know stopping parameters. But if a coordinator is only running a 6-minute walking test or a procedure which does not include nursing, i.e. a room-only visit, this does not require MD orders whatsoever. It's also relevant to recognize that if you need to bring in edits from an old set of orders onto the template, it's recommended that you copy and paste each section into the new template. Be sure to acknowledge any changes in the most recent version of the orders template. There is no capability to import or upload your CTRC orders. Everything must be done within OneDrive. So, if you want to then submit your MD orders, you can do this in two locations. You can either submit it here. So for your first round of orders submission, you would just select orders submitted and then submit here. Or you can do it from the main page. This is back in your main MD orders page. Under study team, you will be able to select orders submitted, and then I will submit and notify the nursing team. This will ping and notify nursing that you have submitted your first MD order set, and now you will be able to see when they update their status.
So throughout this demonstration, I am going to be acting as nursing, core lab, and pharmacy, just to kind of show a standard flow for a set of orders. So my next task is going to be selecting under nursing review. Marjorie just mentioned that when you do select that orders submitted button, that will notify the CTRC nursing core that your orders are ready. And nursing will enter and select under nursing review to let you know that we have received that initial set of orders and that it's under review. Occasionally, based on our clinical demands for the day or the time of day that these are received, it can take us a couple days to get to our next status update. So please remain patient and know that if we have selected under nursing review that we are reviewing those orders. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the orders as a nurse, and I'm going to go ahead and review the orders. I'm currently on my side in visit 1, and I have noticed that under venous access, there was a description initially, we're just imagining this, that Marjorie had placed that there would be 5 blood draws. I'm making a comment of, can we place an IV for these blood draws rather than doing 5 venipunctures? So I placed that comment within the document itself. And then I'm also going to return to the main screen, and I'm going to direct her what order to go to. So visit 1, comment placed, or changes needed from nursing. I'm going to go ahead and submit that comment. And Marjorie can show you on her screen, but she can go ahead and review that history section, and that'll show you a chronological list of everything that's happened under this system. And then nursing is going to go ahead and select need study team changes. This is going to notify the coordinator directly. We will talk about lead CRC later in this demonstration and who gets notified if these changes needed. But this is going to send a notification to the lead coordinators on the study, letting them know to enter the dashboard and review the orders. What it will also do is under the study team section, it's going to create a null status, which is just the little dash. That will allow you to resubmit orders submitted, and that process can continue until the orders have been completed with everything that's appropriate. Marjorie, it is ready for you.
Brilliant. Yeah, also worth noting, I know that Kyla just mentioned this, there's kind of 2 locations you can look at history. It's under this clock, you'll be able to see that in reverse chronological order, or under build and review orders, you can see it right here. As Kyla just mentioned, back on the main page, she has submitted that it needs status team changes, and my status has now become null. So I'll go back into build and review orders, and I can see right here that she has made a comment for visit 1, there's something that needs to be changed. This makes it really easy, so if I have multiple templates in here, I don't have to go digging through each individual one to know where I need to make the changes. I just know that I need to make a change on visit 1, so I will go ahead and open up that document. And because I got rid of all of the comments during my initial submission, the only comment that will be here is going to be the one from the current nursing comments. So I will answer that yes, or maybe not yes there. I will say resolved. I will say IV placement acceptable. Then I will go ahead and resolve this thread. It is preferable that all of the study teams are resolving threads as we go through rather than deleting threads, such that we can continue to look at the notes as they're in development. So I've resolved the thread, I've answered her question, I've confirmed that the item is saved. I can now X out of this, and I'm just going to make a comment back and say resolved per comment. You can say anything in this comments box, but I find that it's really helpful for the nursing team to just be able to acknowledge that, yes, I've acknowledged the comment that you've made here, so that they know that that has been accurately looked at. Now I'm going to go back into my main page, and I will go ahead and resubmit these orders back to the study team. You'll also notice here that the PI meeting has been updated. It's really good to know that when you make your first submission of your orders, a CTRC administrator will reach out to the study team to schedule that PI meeting. This will be by the same process that it has happened historically, by that doodle poll. So we can see now that the PI has presumably been contacted and that the meeting is scheduled. I'm going to go ahead and submit and notify, and that'll ping back to the study team. Once again, if you're ever curious if your submissions are being updated, you should be able to see, and sometimes it takes a little bit on this, after this history, you should be able to see a status change to indicate that that you have resubmitted that order back to the nursing side.
Okay, so as the nurse liaison for this study, I will go ahead and go into this based on an email notification that I've received. And to my perspective, the orders look great and we're ready to send to Core Lab. So my next status is going to be orders sent to Core Lab. And in just a moment, Marjorie can refresh her screen and it should say under CTRC nursing orders sent to Core Lab. I'm now going to act as Core Lab as well. So under Core Lab, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to open Visit 2 as I were Core Lab to be reviewing these. And when I'm looking in this section, I see that we need some more information about a specific assay that's being requested. So I'm going to make a comment that says, please provide additional assays. And we're going to say comment. And then again, I'm going to go out of this screen. And as Core Lab, I'm going to say, please see Visit 2 for comments for changes needed from Core Lab. As Core Lab, I'm going to go ahead and update my status. Core Lab is going to say need study team changes, and that will then notify the study team that Core Lab has reviewed and needs more information.
And as you guys can see on my page, as Kyla was updating these statuses, you can see it kind of coming through under each of the individual cores. So knowing that Core Lab needs some additional study team changes, I will go back into my orders, taking a look at that comment, and I'm seeing that Core Lab needs some edits on Visit 2. So I'll take a look at my Visit 2. I'll review the comments. It says, please provide additional assays. Brilliant. And then I'll add in, let's say, an LFT. Time point's going to be negative 30 minutes, plus 30 minutes, and then plus 24 hours. Additionally, you should add any of these additional comments as necessary. So make sure that you are filling this out completely. For now, we'll leave this. Please provide additional assays. I will say that that has been resolved. Resolving the thread. So now I've got my edits in here. I'm confirming that it's saved. Backing out. Submitting my comment back to the team. And then once again, my status is back to null, so I'm able to submit back that my Core Lab edits are complete. And I will submit and notify that to notify Core Lab that I have changed per their comments.
Excellent. The next status available for Core Lab is going to be needing a lab manual. If that was not initially provided in the Encore documents, Core Lab will request that if necessary for your study. So I'm going to go ahead and submit and notify for the need for a lab manual.
And I can see that status has changed here. So now, in order to update a lab manual in there, what you can do is you can see that there's this kind of box highlighting around the Core Lab. You will select that Core Lab heading above the status dropdown and attach the appropriate documents. So I'll come in here, I'll attach a file. ICF is obviously not what we're looking for, but I'll attach the relevant document as needed. And then I'll go ahead and submit that in there. Now, if you have multiple documents, so some sponsors might have not only a lab manual, but also a flow chart for the local laboratory, you can submit multiple items underneath this. Additionally, if you upload an item, you can also delete it out by removing that document here with the X. I'll go ahead and submit that. And you can see that that's successful because now we've got this icon that pops up here. And if I wanted to view that lab manual, I would be able to select this icon and the manual would then download and I'd be able to view what manual I originally uploaded. You do not need to do a status change for this upload. Once that is uploaded and this icon appears, Core Lab will be automatically notified of that lab manual upload.
Yes, just to again reiterate, the lab manuals do create a notification, so you do not need to update your status. That will notify Core Lab that all the information they need is appropriate, and I have gone ahead and updated to review complete. Marjorie can refresh her screen and it'll show us that. As the coordinator, the lead coordinators listed on the study, you will receive an email notification letting you know that the Core Lab review is completed. Next, we're going to go ahead and send the orders over to CURP Pharmacy, which is the research pharmacy. And as a result, you will also see that UCH Pharmacy is NA. That we felt that kind of helps guide the direction for this. So I'm going to go ahead and submit and notify. It is worth noting that once nursing sends the orders over to pharmacy, they will be locked for editing. Which means that the study team will no longer be able to make edits to these orders because pharmacy will need to be reviewing and need assurance that those orders have not been changed or are currently changing during their review.
Mm-hmm. And as you can see, this status is NA, so you know that you're working through the CU Research Pharmacy, and once it's with pharmacy, it is locked for signatures.
So again, as research pharmacy, I'm going to go into these orders under the medication section, and I'm going to leave a comment for Marjorie that says, please include indications for PRN meds, and please reference the medication writing SOP in the information and examples tab to update the medication section. And that document just talks about removing trailing zeros, specifics on how to notate medications, names for medications, etc. So give that a look over when you have a chance. I'm going to exit out of this document. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and say, pharmacy, please review visit 1 for pharmacy needed edits. That comment was just submitted. And then under CERP Pharmacy, I'm going to go ahead and select Need Study Team Changes. And Marjorie should see that in just a moment here.
Yep, and I can see that CU Research Pharmacy is requesting some additional details from me. Let's see if we can get that unlocked. Yeah, brilliant. So now the status change is updated to null on the study team once again. I can go back into build and review orders, and I can see that they want some edits on visit 1. So I'll go into there once again, and I'll make the relevant edits as requested by the pharmacy. Oh, there we go. I went too far. Let's take a look. Yes. So they're just asking about indications, and they're asking for me to reference that SOP. So I'll add some indication details. And obviously, these should be more in-depth than what I'm putting in currently, but just make sure to reference that SOP. We'll go ahead and resolve that thread. Once again, I'm confirming that my document is saved. Backing out of here. Save resolved per CERP comments. And then I'm going to drop down and make sure that you are submitting your edits to the relevant pharmacy. Once again, it should be pretty easy to tell which is your relevant pharmacy because your other one has been selected as not applicable, but please make sure that you're submitting it to the correct pharmacy. Otherwise, it'll notify the wrong individuals. So I've got my CERP edits complete, and I'll go ahead and submit and notify one more time. And then as you can see, once again, it's become locked for signatures since I've submitted to the pharmacy directly.
So the pharmacy has the information that they need. They're going to go ahead and select Review Complete. That should show up on Marjorie's screen. And the coordinators will then receive an email notification letting them know that the update for CERP Pharmacy is completed. And the next step is then going to be for nursing. And nursing is go ahead and select Review Complete after the second nurse liaison has done their full review, confirmed that the flow sheets within Epic match the orders, and we have everything we need for the study. So we're going to go ahead and select Review Complete. And then Marjorie can show her page that is all completed. Excellent. So once that Review Complete is selected, that will notify nursing leadership that a DocuSign needs to be created. And at this point, nursing will include the pharmacy, the study MD listed on this study. It's worth mentioning, and Marjorie will also review this information, but if your PI and study MD are separate, the DocuSign will be sent only to the study MD. So that DocuSign again will include pharmacy, the study MD, CTRC nursing leadership, and then anyone listed on the study as a lead coordinator will also receive a completed signed copy as well as your study MD and pharmacy. So you'll receive that all via DocuSign. Nursing will also save completed copies of the MD orders in our Veil drive as an option for all of the internal course to reference. And then we will do two additional things. So the first one is use a button that is called Completed in Orders. And I just want you to keep an eye on the right upper corner as I do this. I'm going to go ahead and select this, and this will close out the orders for editing. Marjorie, you can go ahead and refresh your screen. What this is going to do is make the option for changes or amendments available. Secondary to that, nursing is going to go into the global view, and under our core, as well as all of the remaining cores, we will be selecting Core Startup Complete. This is what our scheduler team is going to look for when they're ready to go ahead and schedule the study. So Marjorie, if you want to go ahead and show that global view now, that should be updated pretty quickly here. You should be able to go ahead and refresh, see if it pops up.
Let's take a look at
You
all
may
that.
need to give that just a couple minutes. Yep.
No problem. Oh yeah, I'm seeing course
There we
startup
go.
complete. And as I said earlier, this ready, open, and scheduler will display once we're all ready for scheduling. Some other good tips to keep in mind while working on your CTRC MD orders is that if there's a second round of changes that need to be made with an individual core, you might need to resubmit your status update. In order to submit the same type of status twice, so say that you've submitted into one of the cores, you need to resubmit again. You must go to a null status and then go back to orders submitted and click submit and notify. That way you can trigger a notification while keeping the status the same. Without changing to null, it will not notify the needed team, and hence this step is really important if you're resubmitting under the same status. Additionally, when you're making any changes to these orders, OneDrive seems to think that once you make changes within a document that you then own that document. So as you're getting feedback from the various cores and they're making comments on your documents, you might see that you're receiving these email notifications that look quite a bit like this. So just keep an eye out for that. Know that you might receive those comments, but please don't make any changes until your CTRC orders, until the relevant core has emailed you and notified you that you can then make those orders changes. Now that we've discussed how to make edits to the MD orders within the CTRC Study Startup dashboard, we're going to talk about how you can manage users as well. The CTRC welcome letter will be emailed to the PI and the lead contacts that are listed in the protocol assessment form, and it'll include a link to the study folder on this dashboard. We'll discuss the steps for the study team to follow to designate the right team member as a lead clinical research coordinator as needed. Um, the lead CRC assigned to any given study will receive all study notifications and status changes via email. It's also worth noting that all contacts used in your protocol assessment form or your submission through the Human Subjects Research Portal will be added to the CTRC startup dashboard, except for the financial contact. So keep that in mind. Everybody added to a study will be originally added as a lead CRC to start, and then it is the study team's responsibility to change those statuses as desired. So from your main page on the dashboard, you will select your study in order to go into manage users. Otherwise, it's going to be grayed out. As you can see right now, I can't access it at the moment. And if I toggle over it, you can see this nice little message pops up that says, please select a study to access manage users. So I'm going to select our study, going to enter manage users, and then let's go ahead and add a new team member. So I'm going to do that by selecting this button at the bottom, add new team member. I'll bring in a team member email address, and then I'm going to also select for them to be a lead CRC. Now, once again, that lead CRC is going to get all notifications for any status changes via their email address. Now you can submit that as a new team member. Now, say somewhere later down the line, that person ends up deciding that they don't want to receive those notifications anymore. You can also go in, edit the team member, and remove that status for them. In order to remove a team member, you will also select that COMERB number once you enter the menu. You will select the team member, and then you will select edit, and you can remove that team member from your study. And as you can see, they've been updated and removed from that study.
It's also worth mentioning that the study PI will always be listed on the study. The study will be listed under them. If that's who the protocol assessment form was listed under. And they can also be added as a lead CRC if they're interested in getting all of the comments and notifications from this system. We have also added in the ability to create an email address if the MD is not the PI. So our CTRC administrator will add that information in for us automatically.
It's also worth noting that the PI cannot be removed through your team member page. Keep that in mind, guys. Now that we've discussed how to create your original MD orders and how to manage users within the CTRC Study Startup dashboard, let's go ahead and discuss if you need to make amendments to your studies. Once again, from the main page, I'm just going to select my COMERB number and enter into the dashboard. As we discussed earlier, now that these orders are complete, you will see order completed under your original order set. And you'll also see this icon at the top for you to create a new order, amendment, or change. This button will only display once an initial set of orders has been created and completed. Now, once you select this button, a text box will populate asking if an amendment has been submitted. We've provided links for both COMERB and the HSR portal web pages for review on what is required for an official amendment. Then you'll select yes or no. If yes, you'll be asked to provide the applicable amendment documents or amendment approvals from the CTRC. This study then can immediately begin building their amended orders in the dashboard. If you select no, the study must provide rationale for the reason an official amendment is not necessary and a general summary of those changes. They will then also have to attest down here, and the study can then begin building their updated orders. So let's take a look at what it's going to look like if I select yes. I'll attach the relevant file. This isn't an ICF. In this case, this is going to be our approval from the CTRC to make these updated orders. I'll attest to the best of my knowledge that this is true, and then go ahead and create. And as you can see, a new line has been generated for our updated amendment. This is where you're going to go to make any of your updated orders in here. Now, as you can see, the orders in here is going to be the original template, and it will not be the fully executed version of your prior orders. What is recommended is, as you guys are well aware by this point, the study and the PI will receive a copy of the signed orders through DocuSign, and they can build their updated orders based on that document with the blank template that auto-populates in their new folder. That's going to be from this. If the study is unable to recover their signed set of orders, a signed set can be provided to them from the nursing team outside of the dashboard as a PDF file only. So once again, you'll follow the same process for making any orders updates, and then you'll just go ahead and submit any orders back to the main study team. You'll just begin building orders, same as referenced in the previous section. Now let's take a look at what the changeover is going to look like overall. As part of this implementation of the new CTRC startup dashboard, you'll also receive access to this letter. This just kind of documents what the progress of the changeover is going to be. So if you received a welcome letter from CTRC nursing inbox before 12/1, which is the initiation date for this new startup dashboard, and you haven't created your MD orders yet, we are asking that you please email the CTRC research administrator to request an updated welcome letter. This will come with a link to your new study in the startup dashboard, and we'll have you include the following information as part of that. If you submit to the HSR portal after 12/1, you will receive a welcome letter with a link to your new study in the startup dashboard. It's also worth noting, if you've started on your initial MD orders and you've already submitted your first draft prior to 12/1, you will just continue to do that through the old system. And
this letter that Marjorie is referencing can be found in section 6 of the manual, and that manual, as she mentioned, will be on the CCTSI website, as well as on the dashboard.
Now let's go ahead and review some quick tips for the CTRC startup dashboard, since we've reviewed this in total. The study PI or CRC can add additional members to the dashboard at any time as needed. And once again, this is going to be done through the Manage Users tab. For any of the status updates that you change through here, you do have to click Submit and Notify in order to actually trigger notifications. You'll be able to select Refresh on each page to display the most recent changes. From the main page, you'll be able to use this informed ticketing system in the event of a system error or for generic questions. We'll review that in just a second. Any of your visit names for your CTRC orders, so these orders in here, once you're creating them, all of the visit names for these documents must match both Encore and the scheduler template names. So this would also match your schedule of assessments for your studies. All orders must be built on the most recent version of the MD orders template, which will automatically be uploaded in each folder. We also request that our study teams do not use this editing function open in desktop. For those of you who are familiar, this will open it within the actual Word application, but the orders will not save back to the dashboard, and any changes made will not be reflected in your dashboard's document. So we just ask that you don't do this, or if you are using it from the Word application, just be aware that those changes are not updating back into here. So you will need to copy and paste any changes back into this document. If you want to avoid that, just avoid using the open in desktop functionality. For any industry studies that we're coming through the CTRC, they are going to require a lab manual if you are using Core. If there are changes or a core lab build are required to only an industry lab manual, we'll just have you email core lab directly to update. So once again, if there's a change in a lab manual that doesn't require a change to your CTRC orders, just email core lab directly. Status changes are only required by the study team in their respective drop-down lists. So if you're the study team, you won't be making any status changes to any of these other cores. You'll only be making your own status changes. Once again, only the lead CRCs that are assigned to a study through the Manage Users page will receive all study notifications and status changes via email. So if you're working with a PI that's heavily involved and wants to receive all updates, make sure they're assigned as a lead CRC. If you're working with a PI that does not want as many updates, make sure that they're not selected as the lead CRC. When orders are submitted, once again, that PI meeting request will trigger the CCTSI administrator to schedule. Once scheduled, that date will display on both the MD orders page and in your global view. Orders will not be accepted for any changes or amendments without tracked changes or highlighting within the Word document. So once again, if you go into your MD orders and we're working on our amendment, you should bring in the prior version of your orders here by copy and pasting everything from your signed copy of your orders. And then from there, you should do all tracked changes to indicate what the changes are per your current amendment. MD orders will be locked once it's submitted to pharmacy, as we showed you during the original MD orders process. No edits can be made after this step. If you realized you submitted prematurely, just reach out to the relevant core and they should be able to bounce it back to you. For changes to the study PI, please submit an informed ticket to have that study folder updated. It is advised that you check the history here regularly to ensure that the notifications, as well as if any comments have been added by any of the other members. Comments in history feature do not create notifications, only status changes do. So make sure when you're making a comment that aligns with a status change, because otherwise just making a comment on its own isn't going to notify anybody. Let's take a look at informed ticketing real quick. So once you're on the main page, there is this little question mark up at the top. This is to be used for any IT issues that you experience in your use with the Study Startup dashboard. As you can see, when I come in here, it just, lets me know about any of my current informed tickets. I have no outstanding tickets at the moment, but if I wanted to create one, I would click this button up at the top. I would add a brief description for what my problem is. So let's say maybe it's an IT issue. I would say that it's going to be a software problem. If it's an issue with the CTRC startup dashboard, I would select a priority for it. I would select then my department, and this would be the department that you want it to go to. An email to copy on the request. This could either be your email. If your PI wants to be looped in, it could be them. You'll describe the issue in depth, and then if you want to screenshot any strange, notifications from the dashboard, you could also upload that in here. We are requesting that study teams please try not to overuse the informed ticketing system if it's just going to be for access requests. If you are aware of a study team member that can give you access, please try to utilize them first, as we don't want people overusing this system for just simple access requests. Let's take a look at the resources and comments as well. It should be noted that at the bottom of the startup dashboard user manual, you will have full access to these resources and contacts. Pull it over here. So we've got the CTRC website, any of the websites that should be relevant for you, as well as some relevant contacts. So please keep that in mind. That's always going to be as part of your startup dashboard user manual. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for watching our instructional video today. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to either Kyla or myself. Thank you very much and have a great day.